In today's video, I would like to share with you 3 Paris museums that I find awesome, that are free, which content is key, so bear with me. Bonjour, my name is Blandine and for 80% of my life I've lived in or around Paris and I have visited around 150 monuments and museums in Paris and around Paris. So almost all of them except one, and I tell you which one at the end of the video. First, I would like to thank you all for your comments, either encouraging or sharing your plans, as it means a world to me. I must say, comments can be addictive. So, let me share with you information about le Musée Carnavalet, the green dot on the map, le Petit Palais, the blue dot on the map, and the MAM, it stands for Musée d'Art Moderne, which is the yellow dot on the map. All these 3 museums are free for regular collections, no booking, and normally no waiting, especially before noon. They are not all in the same location, but they are all in nice locations. So let's begin with the Musée Carnavalet, the green dot on the map. It's in the Marais district. Le Marais district is a neighborhood you would want to visit, especially if it's your first time in Paris. Le Musée Carnavalet is free all year long for everybody. Oftentimes there is a small exhibition, and exhibitions are paying visits. But believe me, with the whole museum, you can already have a great visit. So why is it a must-do visit in Paris? Because you'll get the whole history of Paris from the ancient times until today. And you'll get to see the evolution of home decor too. So let's say you don't have time to go to Versailles, you will be able to have a glimpse of the 17th century home decor at Musée Carnavalet. The museum building itself is beautiful. It's from the 16th century. If I were to visit the Musée Carnavalet for the first time, I would go on a normal pace through the first introduction rooms. Then I would go quickly on the ancient times and the Middle Ages, so that I can spend more time on the 17th, the 18th and the 19th century and on home decors. Because this is where my taste goes. But maybe your taste is to be passionate about prehistory, antiquity or Middle Ages. Also, what I love about the Musée Carnavalet is that you will see different mock-ups of the city at different time. And you will discover everything about the French Revolution, the hectic beginnings of our democracy, and the first republics. Right now we are in the 5th Republic. Sincerely, it's a very beautiful visit, very interesting, and the museum has been renewed recently, so it's very well renovated. Some practical tips here. The Musée Carnavalet is closed on Mondays. You'll find a great outdoor space for a quick, not too expensive snack in the garden, if they do the same this year as the previous years. No booking is possible nor necessary. And obviously, before noon it's much better. So you can easily spend 2 hours inside. It's the kind of museum from which I get out because I am just overwhelmed and tired, rather than being done with things to see. I can easily go there again and again without getting bored. Now let's talk about Le Petit Palais. Same as for le Musée Carnavalet, it's also a free visit. And if you see a waiting line, make sure that it's for the security and not to get in the exhibition. Because the free visit of the museum is separated from the paying visit of the exhibition. Le Petit Palais building also is a very beautiful building. It's a palace in itself, and I love as much the architecture of the Petit Palais as the artworks that are inside. Especially the entrance gate is very impressive. The little garden inside is very charming. It's a very old-fashioned garden, and the length of the galleries is very impressive too. In this little garden you can make a break, but you cannot have a picnic. Le Petit Palais et le Grand Palais, meaning the small palace and the big palace, are facing one another, and they were built for the 1900 exhibition, International Fair exhibition. And back then it was a huge success with over 50 million visitors. To give you a little bit of background, France had 40 million inhabitants back then. From the start, le Petit Palais was to be le Musée des Beaux-Arts de la ville de Paris, where the collections of art belonging to the city of Paris were showed. Le Petit Palais Permanent Collection will show you a mixed match of artworks from various times, and among those, great impressionist pieces. You will find a very pretty Monet painting, a very soft canvas by the American Marie Cassatt, as well as magnificent paintings by Cézanne, Pissarro. Also, this beautiful wood paneled room is very interesting for this 18th century sedan chair. Another interesting piece, a modern one, is this chandelier by Jean-Michel Othoniel, and it's located in the staircase. You can visit until 8 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, and it's open every day except for Mondays. Now, let's talk about the MAM. It stands for Musée d'Art Moderne. And in a way, it's the logical following of Le Petit Palais. The building was completed in 1937, and with its two wings perpendicular to the river Seine, it was intended from the beginning to house two museums. Even for the French people, it's a less well-known museum, but it's a great free museum too. Same, no ticket, normally no waiting line, no booking, just get through the security, and if you see a line, make sure it's the line for the security and not the line for the exhibit ticket. In the MAM, in the Musée d'Art Moderne, you will see artworks of the avant-garde artists, and you'll understand how they each steal from one another. As Austin Kleon's book puts it, still like an artist. At the time, the Impressionism and Fauvism were two new ways of painting that already caused a scandal by distancing itself from classical painting. With cubisms, shapes are cut into simple geometric elements, and this cubism caused another scandal at the Salon of the Independent Painters in 1911. Later on, in the 1930s, Paris was at the heart of the abstraction art movement, and this room captures the Art Deco atmosphere of the period. Now, there is a room at Le MAM, le Musée d'Art Moderne, that I especially love, and it's the Fée Électricité room, the Electricity Fairy room, because it's a very joyful painting, it's a huge fresco, and in a way I would say it's the beginning of street art. For this work, Raoul Dufy, the painter, carried out a great deal of research into both content and technique, and the watercolor rendering on the plywood panels was made possible with the help of a chemist. And this painting showcases 108 searchers, among whose Leonardo da Vinci, Bacon, Pascal, Leibniz, Volt, Joule, Carnot, Fresnel, Ampère, Becquerel, Thomson, Edison, among others, not to mention Pierre et Marie Curie. In 10 months, Raoul Dufy painted this. This painting was commissioned by the company of electric distribution back then. It was exhibited in June 1937. This is a 600 square meters and 6,458 square feet painting. And it traces the history of electricity and its applications from the earliest observations to the most modern technical achievements. There is another very interesting room. It's the one that shows 2 preparatory works of Matisse for a commissioned work by a US billionaire. And this size of painting was very challenging for Matisse, so he had to change scale and adapt his creative process. Practical tips here. You have an Italian restaurant next door, not cheap but very nice, or just in front of the museum you have a coffee shop outside in a garden at the Musée garden. I'm not sure if you can picnic in this park, but you can try. And the museum is closed on Mondays, but it's open every day, and on Thursdays it's open until 9:30 p.m. So there you have it, 3 free visits, one in a 16th century building, one in a 1900s building, and one in the late 1930s building. As promised, here is the name of the museum I have not visited in Paris, and it's called Les Catacombes de Paris, the Paris Catacombs. And I must admit, I cannot motivate myself to go to see people's remains. I'd rather visit the other museum again and again, as I will always discover something, and for 2 good reasons. First, they show temporary exhibition dedicated to special topic or special time slot in history. And second, because the museum have huge collections in warehouse and they show only part of it. So they rotate. Et voilà, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if it was interesting to you and if you discovered something, I would be thrilled if you would leave a blue thumb up, and why not subscribe. Until next time, thank you for your time, thanks a lot for your comments. Have a great day, enjoy Paris. Et voilà, I am also 6,040